let's start from when I started getting serious about it. All right. And this will give hope for some people who say, gee, I don't have the money to get started. I don't have the time to get started. Okay. So when I started, I really didn't have, again, I was paying the bills, but I didn't have extra money to pay to buy a property. So one night I'm sitting and I'm really frustrated because I know what I'm doing. I have access to properties. I have general contractors and so forth, but I didn't have the money to plunk down to buy a property, even a down payment. And my wife says to me, why don't you call your friend Joe, who is a general contractor? But Joe owned like 40 properties, owns casinos, he owns laundromats, he owns like a billion acres in West Virginia because he likes to hunt. And I'm saying, why would Joe need me? He doesn't need me. Why would I call him? My wife said, what do you got to lose? Maybe he'll want to partner with you or something. So I was very reluctant, but I called Joe. And I was always almost hoping that I'd only get voicemail, you know? So I called Joe. Joe calls me Rickster. Hey, Rickster, how you doing, babe? What's going on? So I said, Joe, I got a proposition for you. Well, tell me, Rick, what's the proposition? I said, how about you and I buy a property together? We'll be 50-50 partners on it. And whatever money we make, we'll split the equity, we'll split the profit. He said, good. I said, here's the thing, Joe. It has to be 100% of your money. Because, frankly, Joe, I don't have extra money to do this. And whatever money, like the half of what you're lending me to do it, I'll pay you interest on that money. And what do you think, Joe? So it's all your money, but I'll do all the legwork. And I'm like this, waiting for him to, and he says to me, let's do it, Ricky. Okay. So I hang up the phone, and my wife said, see, honey, good thinking. Good thing you thought about that. She thought about it. But then I said, wait a minute now. How much money does he want to invest? I got to call him back. Calling back, Joe, it's Rick. Rickster, you got a property already? I said, no, Joe, I got to ask you a question. How much do you want to invest? What do we want to start with? Good question. He thinks there's silence. I'm thinking maybe he's going to say $25,000, $30,000. He says, how about if we start with $250,000? $250,000. Would that work, Ricky? I said, that would work, Joe. So I hung up the phone. And the next day, now this is really before internet and all this, and I put an ad in the paper. And the ad in the paper was a very short ad because you pay by the word. And it said, need to sell your home. We keep it simple and discreet. Call Rick at my number. Same number I have now. And in about 2 weeks, the ad ran for 2 weeks. I got about 10 calls. 9 of them were fishing. Well, if you want to pay me $1 million, my project, I done. But one property, which was a lovely home in Ewing, custom built home, and they were heirs. They didn't want the house, and Joe and I bought the house. So people, I like to use the word awfulize. They project. Well, I'm afraid to ask this question, or I'm afraid to do that because they project getting the wrong answer. I call it awfulizing. So I call up. I looked at the house and so forth, and I did my comps, and I figured that this house would sell for about $250,000. It needed cosmetics. So I called up Joe. I said, Joe, we could go $190,000 on this. Put maybe $10,000, $15,000 in, make some money. He said, go for it, Rick. Well, I called up the owner, and I got the wife. I said, I'm going to start lower. My stomach is turning over, but you got to do it. So I called up and I said, listen, this was like the beginning of, sometime in November, it's around Thanksgiving time. I said, we'd like to offer you $170,000 on the house. We'll take it as is, and we'll close by the end of the year. So, okay, let me talk to my husband. I'll have him call you when he gets home. Okay. So meanwhile, during that time period, I'm saying, oh my God, they're gonna laugh at me. What are you? This is crazy. I couldn't eat my dinner. My stomach is turning over. Phone rings. My wife picks it up. We still had a wall phone then. I'm dating myself. it was one of these things. It was actually one of these things with a horn, And oh yes, I remember the guy's name, Mr. Provenzano. Rick is right here. So he gets on the phone and he says, Rick, this is, I forget his first name, Provenzano, and he said, my wife tells me that you're willing to offer us $170,000 for the home, take it as is and close by the end of the year. Do I have that right? Yup. That sounds great, we'll take it. Didn't even counter offer. So we bought the property for $170,000. And I remember going to the house. Now I have no skills as far as contracting stuff. So he would say, go clean the bathroom. Works for me. Go shampoo the road. Do it. What, Rick, you're screwing it up. Go out and get some donuts. And I'm telling you a true story. I took a long walk down to the corner to get the donuts. But it didn't matter. Right? You want me to clean the toilet? I'll clean the toilet. I'm doing this for, it's my house now. So we closed. And we sold the house at $250,000. And I walked out with like $25,000. I remember $26,000. I remember looking at the check, and it's made out to me. Right? It was like an out-of-body experience. Wow, look at that. So we closed. Of course, my wife is very happy. And what does Joe say to me? Ricky, let's do it again. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he do it again, right? So that was my first real experience. But then now I had some money. So I started buying property on my own. First with my self-directed IRA, and then my LLC when I'm the owner of the LLC. But really, I've been buying property with someone else's money. Instead of having a partner, I've had private lenders. And I bought a bunch of properties not using any of my own money. But the private lender is happy because instead of keeping $100,000 in a money market account at the credit union or a CD at 2%, I'm paying them 5.5%, 6%. They're getting a check every month. It's secured by the mortgage on the property. I don't pay them, they can take the house, it wouldn't happen. But they're happy. And I like to make people happy, Jonathan, So if they're happy and I'm happy, everyone's happy. I'm in the happy business. Let's make people happy. And if we make some money along the way, that's even better.